Behind me is Canary Wharf on the Isle of Dogs, one of London's two major financial districts. Obviously it didn't always look like this, but today it's a modern fortress where people work, play and live. It's a veritable city within a city, and also one of the most high security places on the planet. Canary Wharf is in fact private property, with its own private security force of both uniformed and plainclothes officers. There are CCTV cameras everywhere, advanced facial recognition systems, vehicle checkpoints before you get onto Canary Wharf, and they don't allow Google Street View cars in. Ah! Horrible. Sadly they don't much like people videoing or taking photos in Canary Wharf, especially not citizen journalists like ourselves. So if we're going to get in there and find out how Canary Wharf got this way, we're going to have to get creative. We know that many of the executives of the banks that call Canary Wharf their home are also members of the Bilderberg Group, which begs the question whether the security isn't to keep people safe, but is because that it's the citadel of the Illuminati.
What are you doing?
Well, they won't let us film them.
Disco?
Doesn't matter. They won't let, my nose won't, they won't let us film them, but they happily film us infringing on our civil liberties.
What is on your glasses? Are they 4-leaf clovers?
Yes. They won't have any qualms about filming us when we go in there. So,
Nice.
and I don't consent to have my likeness reproduced by them and distributed around their shadowy cabal. So this is how I'm going in there.
Disco Santa.
No, I'm not Disco Santa. I'm just, this is like to disrupt their facial recognition cameras and the like. So let's see them try and stop me.
Yeah. Paul wants to go into Canary Wharf, high security Canary Wharf, full of security guards which are dressed to look like policemen.
Right, we can't film without drawing attention to ourselves. That's famous. I looked it on Reddit. You go on the Canary Wharf website, they're very anti people filming. You can't even tell when security guards are watching you because of the CCTV. They send the plainclothes people round.
Oh.
So I had an idea of how we can do this discreetly.
Right.
Right, and it cuts both ways. So I have, look, a body cam that I'm going to wear so that we can film in there.
I mean, it's not that discreet. I can see it really
Right,
easily.
well, I'll just do this like I'm shaving.
Okay.
And then I will be able to film them, but they won't be able to film me because of this. Thus, my civil liberties will be intact.
Paul,
I think everyone in there should wear stuff
you
like
think
this.
Disco Santa's just being discreet?
Disco?
Beg to differ. You think Disco Santa's
This
being
is all
discreet?
distraction.
I'm not sure it's the best idea, because I think that's going to end up drawing more attention to us.
Shall I just take, is it the hat?
Might be the hat. That's a little bit.
Actually, it's still a bit far.
That's a little bit better, but yeah, maybe try removing the nose.
Ow! But oi!
Paul, really?
So Sonia's talked me out of the whole going incognito thing.
Yeah.
But I have a backup because there's every possibility we yet may get stopped. Which is why I'm wearing this. Where is it? Look.
What on Paul for?
If the Illuminati stop me, I'm just going to flash that up. Look, if I'm taken to a dark room by one of the Illuminati,
you're going to need to know more than just. You're going to need to have more than just
I've
that.
thought of that as well. You say I don't know the esoteric knowledge.
Yeah.
But
do you know people?
The Illuminati,
you're going to think he's a shill now, aren't you? Like a plant by.
God's sake, Sonia, I'm not. All I need to do is give them some information that I tell them is from a higher level than they're at.
Right. What's that?
I haven't thought of it yet, but I'm quite good at thinking on the fly.
What,
no, I'm good. I can good at improvising the moment. So let's say they're interrogating me. First, flash the eye.
Right.
Then I'll say to them, "Look, I'm a 7th level Illuminatus or something like that."
Right.
And
what if that's a really low level? Like,
right,
what if they go up to like
right, I'm a billion,
23?
I'm a 1000th level Illuminatus.
That's too high. You need to pick a middle number, like
million.
30. No, like let's say like they have like 33 levels or something.
So I'll say I'm level 34.
Right.
Right, which you're not, my friend. Or I'll just come up with something like I'm level Plumpus or something like that.
Okay.
Like, Pamphry. I'm level Pamphry.
Yeah.
Right, which they'll go, what's that? And I'll go, well, if you don't know, you're clearly not at my level. And then, because I'm good at like thinking on my feet, I will say to them, like I'll improvise something.
Yeah.
I'll say something along the lines of, like, we need to get into Canary Wharf on the Isle of Dogs. Hey, they should have called it Canary Woof.
We are genuinely a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous.
Because they don't like people filming.
They don't like people filming. And I'm not scared of like getting locked up. What I'm scared of is having to talk to people because I get social anxiety. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's like social
Talk to
interaction.
me. It's like you just walked into a tree. Sculpture of a load of sheep. I mean, you know, join the dots, sheeple. Join the dots.
They're not making it easy for us to disprove any conspiracies, are they?
I mean, have you seen how many cameras are around?
There's so many cameras. All I can say is it's freaking me out. There are literally cameras everywhere. I mean, they look like they're like 10, 15 meters apart from each other.
Do you know what? It's like one of those magic eyes. It's like the harder you look, the more cameras you see.
I know.
Right
I
now,
know.
Every time I
oh
look,
my
there's
goodness.
another one.
Yeah.
I can right now. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 8. I've just seen that one, but it's like I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing. It's like, do you want to live somewhere where you're constantly being watched like that?
I know. I don't.
You know, it's actually really pretty here.
It's really pretty. Like, I have to say, it's very pretty. It's very peaceful. It's clean, well maintained.
But you're under constant surveillance.
Right, so we're filming stealth again now. You're propped up on Paul's man bag.
Unnecessary detail. It's a pretty sort of Central Park-esque place, like a kind of miniature Central Park in the middle of Canary Wharf.
Sorry, I was getting a bit paranoid. There's someone there.
Except with artificial grass, which is weird. I mean, these trees seem real, more real than the grass. But there are, once again, amid all the trees, security cameras. I really don't like it.
Cameras everywhere.
I mean, we've had a wander around. We didn't find any Masonic...
I haven't seen any Masonic symbols anywhere.
Apart from, of course, the top of one... Is it One Canada Water or whatever it is? Basically, the iconic skyscraper. It was the first one built here, the one that everyone knows. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you know it as Torchwood headquarters.
Oh, is it? Well, we were looking for Masonic symbols as if we were looking for hidden Mickeys at Disneyland.
On top of One Canada Square, there is a pyramid with a light on top, which some people have linked to the Masonic eye. Now, the person who designed that was a guy called Caesar Pelli, a very famous architect who designed other such temples to the elite, such as the World Financial Centre and the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where the 9/11 hijackers met. Prior to Sonia, when I told her this information yesterday, her mind was blown. But today, because she's heard it already, she's just just zoning out.
No, I'm listening.
Once I started to think of look at all this stuff from like the perspective of like trying to put myself in the mindset of someone who is a quote unquote conspiracy theorist, and trying to kind of join dots and connect things up. It was like then I sort of like look back and you're going to go, oh, Caesar Pelli, his first job straight out of university when he graduated as an architect was designing a Masonic temple. And
that's a bit weird.
Sonia's reaction was a lot more heightened yesterday because she'd heard it for the first time. But imagine Sonia going, wow, what? And her head exploding.
It is a bit weird though.
Well, okay,
isn't it?
I have some more weird stuff because here's the thing, right? Here, this place it's home to all these major banks. This is some stuff I've not told you. The security guards coming.
Hope they don't look at us.
You know, you've got sort of the big banks here: HSBC, Barclays, JP Morgan, Citibank, all the big ones, as well as a lot of other companies that work in, for instance, AI. There's quite a lot of AI companies moving.
Oh, really?
Blockchain.
No way.
Bitcoin and stuff like that. But one company really did jump out, and that was Infosys, which, if any of you know about our current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
This is crazy.
Infosys, it's an IT company, and it is owned by the family of Rishi Sunak's wife.
So not owned by her.
She owns something like a £90 million share in it.
Wow.
Sorry, tell a lie. Her stake is worth 500 million.
What?
So since 2015, it's been involved in £750 million worth of government contracts, right? 2 months before Rishi Sunak announced hundreds of new licenses for oil and gas extraction in the North Sea, Infosys signed a $1 billion deal with energy giant BP.
No way.
In 2023, the year after Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister, the Infosys' value of public sector contracts almost doubled. Now, that sounds bad, doesn't it? And then I looked up where Infosys' HQ was, because I wanted to know if this was
their main, here.
And it isn't, but they have got a major office here because obviously they do a lot of work for...
Yeah, wait for this.
Wait for this. So their headquarters is in Bangalore, and it's shaped like a pyramid. It's like, are they just pranking us?
Yeah, either they're pranking us, but that's, spending a lot of money on a building just to prank people.
And do you know who basically owns Canary Wharf?
No, who?
Qatar. The Canary Wharf Group is owned by Brookfield Property Partners and the state of Qatar.
That's so bizarre. Yeah, because basically this whole, is it a city? No, not a city.
Well, it's a city within a city.
City within a city is private property.
Yeah, and it's owned by Qatar, who famously, their human rights record isn't exactly sterling. I mean, like, homosexuality is outlawed.
How can a whole country own a city within another country?
So I don't care whether you're going to go, it's not the Freemasons, it's not the Illuminati, it's not the New World Order, it's not the Rosicrucians, it's not the Knights Templar, it's not the Dennis the Menace fan club. It's, regardless, this place gives me the creeps. I mean, we've seen the checkpoints, haven't we?
We've seen the checkpoints.
I mean, another way to look at checkpoints is, well, what do you think the checkpoints are for?
What, to monitor vehicles coming into the city? Do you call it a city? What do you call it?
The wharf. The estate.
The estate, yeah, to monitor vehicles coming into the estate.
It is a city within a city. But another way of looking on it is, what could checkpoints also be used for? Stop people going out. This is like a joke. So we literally stood outside One Canada Square.
Yeah, we can't make this stuff up. Like, I'm like, what the actual?
And I wanted to come to this tunnel that it's you see it on Instagram because it's an art tunnel. It's like one of those Instagrammable things. You will not believe what is at the end of the tunnel. That is where we're headed. We're here, we're going to that.
To what?
Oh my God, don't make me point again. that bit. We're going to the very heart of the British Empire as it was. We don't have an empire anymore, they've ruined it. Mint. Perhaps I should have named this place Mudchute.
I don't think that's mint.
Well, what is that I'm smelling?
That's not mint.
What is it? What? Why am I smelling mint? What's here? Mint is here. That is mint. That's mint.
I'm not sure. It might. I don't know. I don't think that's mint. That's not like any mint that I know.
Leave a comment if you think that's mint. So we've come here to Mudchute Park on the Isle of Dogs, a short distance from the Canary Wharf estate. Isle of Dogs, no one's quite sure how it got its name. One of the most common theories is that it was named so because here is where Henry VIII, the King of England, kept his hunting hounds, and passing sailors would hear them barking from their ships. Sailor ships, not dogs. Don't have ships. Mudchute Park got its name due to a colony of sodomists who lived here.
I'm sorry?
It's not true. It's not true. Mudchute. How could I not? Mudchute.
Like a what, Paul? Like a what?
Oh, how's your wife as a magpie? Like a bum. couldn't think of anything with
Is
it.
this
Look at bumhole. If anyone's noticing that my hair looks like it's been washed, this is actually day 2 of us filming.
Yeah.
Yesterday, there's a bit coming up later on. Let's just walk and talk because there's people.
Walk and talk, people. Walk and talk. Can I just say before Paul starts, I had the nicest bubble tea ever. It was called.
Okay, this is
anyway,
not
I don't
really,
remember,
this is
but it was
about
really nice.
The conspiracy that controls our lives. We're not talking about bubble tea. So
if you ever come to Canary Wharf,
this is representative of your absolute lack of respect and interest in this subject. The reason we're filming on day 2, everyone, is because yesterday we got to the heaviest bit of the video and we filmed it, right? I was imparting all this quite serious information and Sanya didn't listen to any of it because she was distracted by a bird.
I did want to listen. I'm very interested in this subject. Possibly more interested than Paul, because I was the OG person interested in the subject.
Not that interested.
Let's go up there.
No, I don't know, because we're going somewhere.
Oh, okay.
We're going to the birthplace of the British Empire.
Wow. I just have to say that, like, I couldn't hear what he was saying because the birds were chirping so loudly, and
she could hear.
No,
she could hear. She chose not to. She could
hear. I couldn't listen because the birds were chirping so loudly.
Yeah, I was like telling you this stuff. It's actually quite a tragic tale, and you were like, "Oh, look at that bird!"
No, it wasn't. It was like all I could hear was the bird.
Bird. That's what you were doing.
All I could hear was the bird.
Like,
sorry if that was really bumpy. I was holding the thing with one hand.
Out, there's some poo up ahead. Appropriate in Mudchute Park.
It's not a poo. It's a scrunchy.
You can see why I mistook that for a poo. So the Isle of Dogs originally was a swamp, effectively. It got drained and they blocked off the Thames with like big chunks of chalk and built barriers around it. But it wasn't really until sort of the 17th century that it came into its own as what became known as London's Docklands, when the trading... What's the matter? You're distracted again.
Sorry, there's like really... cool
We're not going
steps.
up there. Do you want to film the cool steps?
Yeah, have a look at these cool steps.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Yesterday, the footage of Sanya not listening to me talking about Britain's history of slavery, she begged me not to put in the video. But once again, as I'm getting
really, really bad.
Once again, as I'm getting to that subject, you get distracted by a set of steps.
Maybe we need to stop.
Maybe you need to listen to quite an important bit of history.
I do.
That is crucial to the Canary Wharf.
No,
and the history of Britain.
All right, let's stop
like
somewhere.
The most disgraceful part of our history, the English especially.
We need to stop somewhere where there are no distractions.
But what an isolation booth.
Basically.
One of those kind of tanks that you sit in that has water, flotation tank. That's the only way you'll listen to me.
That would work.
It's unbelievable. There was something like 3.5 million was sent to the New World, but only 3 million of those made.
Sorry, that little bird is
talking
so
about
loud.
Bloody slavery, and you're literally not looking.
The bird is really distracting me. It's so loud.
Jesus Christ, it was like the most inappropriate behaviour I have ever seen. I was talking about the slave trade, and all you're doing is just looking at the bird that's in that tree.
Oh, there's two.
Okay, do you know what? I won't talk about Britain's shameful history. There's loads of gnats or midges or something above your head. There's millions of them here. I'm getting out of the way.
I'm listening now. The bird's not distracting me.
I'm done. The whole video's ruined.
I feel really, really bad about yesterday that it's not that I didn't even hear what you were saying, so it's not like I was willfully ignoring it, because I wouldn't ignore such a serious topic. Like, it's really important and serious.
I know you weren't willfully ignoring it, but it just shows that you don't actually ever listen to me. I'm glad I go to the effort of the research. I hope our viewers actually bother listening to what I've got to say, because I spent at least like an hour on the research for this video. So Canary Wharf didn't really look at Sanya. She's trying desperately now to be focused. Look at her. She's looking. If you can see the look on her face. So Canary Wharf didn't really come into its own as a centre of trade until the early 19th century, when West India Dock was built. And the reason it got its name West India is because it was paid for with slave money from the slave trade. And in fact, the building that was used as a warehouse is still there. It's now the Museum of London Docklands. They have like an exhibit on slavery there. It is, I have to say, again, everyone, just remember when I was trying to talk to Sanya yesterday, she was doing this.
It was because of a bird. Like, it wasn't, I didn't even register what we were talking about.
Just, when I was discussing this subject with Sanya, it's, by the way, it's probably the most serious bit of the video, but I discovered it was something like, because Britain, like,
ew, I mean, Mudchute strikes again.
you thought I was joking.
I know.
turns out they still live here. The descendants of the Mudchuteans still live here. It's just, I don't really want to look at those. Don't keep filming. I'm stood next to them shitty pants. We're not meant to talk about the slave trade. Clearly this isn't the channel for it. Bottom line is, Canary Wharf was funded by the slave trade, basically. That's what established it. However, by the 1970s, it had fallen into disrepair, mainly because of, well, A, the abolition of slavery, and B, because of the rise of container ships. There was less need for big bustling ports. So they set up this redevelopment committee in the early 80s, I think. I mean, people were, I mean, this is really interesting. People were so incensed with how the Isle of Dogs had been neglected that they briefly broke away from the United Kingdom and formed their own republic. It was a Labour councillor in...
Who, the Isle of Dogs?
Yeah, there was a Labour
Isle
councillor.
of Dogs was its own republic?
For 10 days. And,
Wow.
Labour councillor in 1970 declared himself president and said that the Isle of Dogs was no longer part of the UK.
Wow.
But, I mean, it was clearly a publicity stunt, but it worked because they got like international coverage. And it was that put pressure on the government and Tower Hamlets Council to start reinvesting in the area. So Margaret Thatcher, the famed milk snatcher, announced plans to redevelop the Canary Wharf site in around 1980, I think. The local residents weren't happy about it at first because they were worried that it would damage the local character. I mean, these are all people who were descendants of dockers and dock workers and the like. You know, that's the only reason why the Isle of Dogs had people living on it. There were some farms before that. In fact, Millwall, which is just behind me, got its name because of the windmills that used to be down there. But Thatcher said that due to trickle-down economics, the local people in the area would benefit. But unfortunately, because of the nature of Canary Wharf, it's very self-contained. People would come in and go out. So sort of local businesses and the like never saw any benefit. And there was like lots of people having to move out of the area, and there was people coming.
Don't joke about that.
It's too late, I've made the joke. It's a good joke. So basically the redevelopment, the impact of it was that the cost of living on the Isle of Dogs just rose massively. So people couldn't afford to live here. I mean, even now, the Canary Wharf development is full of kind of luxury, high-end flats. It's not a place for regular plebs like Sanya and I, especially Sanya.
Thanks a lot.
Ooh, Illuminati. Ooh, Illuminati. Ooh, the Illuminati. They're so Illuminati. Very, very naughty. Rat-a-tat-ta. It's the Freemason. The pyramid boy. The Freemason, secretly controlling the world. I've had a dicky tummy full of dreadful aches and pains. The doctor prescribed a vaccine to make it go away. But when he stuck the needle in, I felt something hit my brain. The vaccine contained a microchip, now I'll never think again. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Bill Gates. Hats off to you, Mr. Q. Hats off to you. Let's do the Great Reset. Yes, the Great Reset. The Great Reset is coming, and JFK Jr. is coming back from the dead.
If we want to understand the real origins of Canary Wharf and the Isle of Dogs and how they are linked to the establishment, we have to just go over here behind that gate and go back further in time.
Is that gate a time portal?
No.
Cool.
Why do you say don't? I was getting to a bit where I said about like the 16th century. We have to go back further in time to the 16th century. No, it's not a time portal. It's a gate. It's a normal gate.
Like a Stargate.
Just here is the birthplace of the British Empire, and consequently the global system in which we now are forced to live. I mean, it's very inauspicious. It's literally a dog shit bin there. Is that, whatever that is. And there's nothing anywhere to mark out this site. There's no official signs. There's nothing on the park map. And people are just kind of walking around it without any idea of what happened on that spot.
What happened on that spot?
Are you asking me a question, or are you repeating what I said? Is that a question, or are you repeating what I said?
Yeah, a question.
Well, I'm literally about to tell you.
Oh, cool.
On a dark night, around 15, can't remember the date, but it was in the 16th century. Queen Elizabeth's astrologer and chief advisor, John Dee, performed a ritual to create a new psychic foundation for the British Empire, and it happened just there.
What? Are you for real?
Well, that's the story, yeah.
Where did you find this story out from?
Well, lots of places. I did my research. I was joking when I said I only did an hour's research. I did like at least 8 minutes. No one actually knows who built this little stone circle called the Omphalos, the Mudchute Omphalos.
I'm sorry?
An Omphalos, it means like navel or centre. So the idea was it would be the centre of the British Empire. It was a pact with an angel or a spirit that he in a ritual, because he was a magician.
Wait, what was the source of your information?
He was an occultist.
Where did you get
Why are you asking? I don't know. I had a whole list of sources. It's famous. It's not that famous because they haven't even put a sign up.
There's nothing
Why
here.
are you asking me my source? You never asked me my sources. Why are you focusing on that? It's really weird.
Well, because I want to know where you found the information out from.
The internet is my source.
Okay.
The internet.
Cool.
But he's famous. John Dee is renowned.
To be the astrologer.
He was the bassist for Prospero in The Tempest. So supposedly Dee was joined by the playwright Christopher Marlowe, who was inspired to create the character of Faust, or Dr. Faustus, based off of Dee, because Dee was like a real mover and shaker in Elizabeth I's court. He was an occultist, an alchemist.
But for anyone who doesn't know who Dr. Faustus,
they can look it up. Don't ask. I don't know
I
beyond
don't know
Dr.
either.
Faustus.
Okay. Do you know what the ritual entailed? I'm a little bit creeped out that we're standing in this stone circle now, in the Omphalos, because that grosses me out to
You're
think
like Omphalos.
some kind of weird shiz went down in this circle.
Yes. No, let's stay on the Omphalos, because actually the whole land here was actually a lot lower back in those days.
I just want to get this out of my system. Lumfa-dee-doo.
So the land back in those days was actually a lot lower here, because it was just marshland. It was a swamp, effectively. And Dee believed that this spot, the reason he chose it, because he was a bit obsessed with King Arthur, and he believed that on this site were the remains of a fort that Merlin lived at. John Dee supposedly coined the term British Empire, and he coined it because he believed that it was all a bit kind of make America great again. He believed the British people, or the English certainly, were last great during Arthurian times, and he wanted to bring back a British Empire like in the days of King Arthur. So when Dee was advising Elizabeth I, there was no real British identity. There certainly wasn't a British Empire. His dream of it was nostalgia for some imagined past. But he was a big advocate of kind of maritime power and naval strength. And so he was advising the Queen and pushing the Queen to extend what effectively was the English's reach over to Ireland, to take control of Ireland and the New World, which of course had been discovered by this point. And as part of that, he hit upon this idea of creating a psychic web spreading out from this point here that would spread the Queen's reach to every corner of the globe. So when you think about it, what he was talking about, global trade, an empire, it's not that different really from what Canary Wharf is today.
So do you know what this mysterious ritual entailed?
No, well
Has anyone described it?
No, I've actually struggled to find information about it. John Dee, some of his gear, his magic gear, is actually in the British Museum. His whole thing was talking to angels, right, which is quite a good story. So he met this 27-year-old guy called Edward Kelly, who was an alcoholic, and apparently had his ears cut half off because he was caught counterfeiting coins, and that was his punishment. And this guy Kelly said, "I can be your conduit for talking to angels." Now Dee, as some people think, was just like totally sucked in by this, that he just went, "What, really?" And among the things that Kelly claimed the angels had told him was that John Dee and Edward Kelly had to swap wives for the night.
No.
And in fact, John Dee, because his diaries survive, wrote about how he didn't really want to do it, but
he did it anyway.
He did it anyway because he wanted to discover the recipe for creating a philosopher's stone that could turn base metals into gold. And apparently if he swapped wives with this guy, that would give them the...
What, some random guy he met told him this and he was like, oh, okay, it must be true then.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was like, I don't really want to do it, but I suppose, I don't know. I suppose if that's what the angels are saying, I suppose. And they're definitely saying we have to swap wives. Yeah. Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. So Sanya's made me sit in the grass and her eyes are watering.
Yeah, there's some
pollen.
Strong pollen forces out today.
The forces of pollen.
The forces of hay fever are in the air.
It's not comfortable. It's on a slope. So Edward Kelly is generally considered by history to be a bit of a charlatan, because he eventually, after him and John Dee went their separate ways, which they worked together on these angelic communications. Enochian magic is.
Enochian.
Oh, you've heard of it?
Yeah.
Well,
the Keys of Enoch.
Yeah, well, that was John Dee who invented it. Oh. They went their separate ways, and Kelly went off to Europe and started telling people, yeah, I can turn any old crap into gold. And eventually he got imprisoned by the Holy Roman Emperor. And then
no.
Tried to escape prison, broke his leg and then died. John Dee's ending was pretty anticlimactic as well. I mean, he was so close with Elizabeth I. She was essentially, because she was big into her occult. I mean, it was quite a big.
I had no idea. I really had no idea.
But he was also the first super spy.
What?
He was like a real polymath. He was like, he knew about navigation and maths and science, but he also had this other interest in the occult. And his, he used to write coded letters to the Queen, because he would, you know, he'd kind of earwig and listen in on conversations and then write to the Queen. And he used to sign his letters to the Queen 007.
No.
And the 00 meant,
no way.
the 00 meant for your eyes only, your two eyes, and seven was John Dee's lucky number, and that's why Ian Fleming called James Bond
007.
Yeah,
that is so cool. But this is not helping to disprove any conspiracies that the powers that be use kind of occult magic and forces and stuff to maintain their power, or to kind of like, I don't know what to say. It's not really helping the argument to say that it disproves it.
Because it goes even deeper and darker than that. Because some believe that John Dee was the first Rosicrucian and passed the mantle down to Francis Bacon. Now, if you know your conspiracy history, you'll know who Francis Bacon was, and you'll know who the Rosicrucians were.
What's freaking me out the most is Paul is generally, he like does not believe any conspiracy theories or anything. He's very skeptical. So for him to be telling me this,
no, okay, I'm telling you, I'm not saying I believe in it all. John Dee wasn't a Freemason, because they weren't really a thing then, but he had a definite interest in secret societies. I mean, no one even knows if the Rosicrucians existed. Regardless, they influenced the Freemasons. I'm not saying I believe the Rosicrucians exist to this day or anything like that, but regardless, the origins of the world we get to now, you know, when you kind of join,
definitely connected.
When you join the dots,
the lines
from the past to today, you know,
when you join the ley lines from the past till today.
Oh yeah, oh sorry, I didn't even mention the ley lines, did I?
Don't tell me this circle is on a ley line.
Yeah, so this circle,
or on a intersection of ley lines.
Yeah, so it connects to the prime meridian. Bit faster, there we are. And a bunch of other key sites in London, including the Monument and St Paul's Cathedral, which were designed by the famous Freemason Christopher Wren. And the Monument and St Paul's Cathedral represent the male and the female. Can you work out why, Sonia?
Wow, no way.
Can you work out why?
For creation purposes.
Well, I was going to say because one looks like a willy and the other one looks like a tit. Goodbye, Omphalos. Goodbye.
Get on with the info so we can get out of here.
Right. So this is part of the estate, the private estate. It's called Wood Wharf. So it's not the business area. This is the residential area. And as you can see around us, it's expanding massively. They're wanting more and more people to live here. They're building lots of New York style lofts. It even says it over there, New York style lofts.
There's people in hot tub boats over there, which I kind of want to do, but also don't really want to go around in a swimsuit.
So here's a bit of fun for those of you who enjoy spotting continuity cuts. Anytime you see me with my jacket done up, it's after we went out for our lunch, due to the fact that I managed to get some sort of Korean sauce all down me. I also managed to get it all up my arm as well. So in the shots, when my jacket's done up, now you know. It's the miracle of filmmaking. Filmmaking, as if that's what this is. It's weird. We come to these places, right? Again, bit like Milton Keynes. I don't know if it's because we're coming here kind of going, oh, could be a, you know, elite Illuminati, Masonic, whatever headquarters. And then we go and see the eye at the end of that tunnel, right in the shadow of one Canada Square. You know, there are those who have speculated that the entire Canary Wharf estate is designed to be sealed off in the event of a national emergency, that the elites can use it as a kind of refuge. You know, certainly we've seen the checkpoints, you know, and most of it's surrounded by water on 3 sides, lest we forget. 3 sides. I don't think you have to believe in one of the more outlandish conspiracy theories to accept that the decisions that are made here by the institutions, the corporations, the people that work here affect all our lives. You know, there's a huge amount of immense power concentrated into quite a small space. You know, a lot of quote unquote elites all in one area. You know, and you can see the scale of the construction that's sort of going on all around, where they're just trying to bring more people in, because this is what's happened is since COVID-19, working has shifted and there's more people working flexible hours and working from home. So I believe the amount of office vacancies available here, it's the highest that has been in 30 years or something like that, because they don't need the office space anymore. So what they're doing is they're shifting away from finance to big pharma, not the green giant. So, you know, science and the like, retail areas and housing. Now, here's a quote from Canary Wharf Group's website. This is how it describes Canary Wharf. A city within a city. Canary Wharf has transformed the urban experience. Carefully considered for a harmonious existence, the community offers the most holistic combination of environmental respect, modern conveniences, optimised work, lifestyle and leisure opportunities, all within a 15-minute walk. This is the roof garden in Canary Wharf, by the way. Again, you know, it looks idyllic until you see the cameras everywhere. Hate it. How is that freedom? I hate it, it's horrible. Like, it's really, really creepy. I can hear motorbikes and things. Interesting bit of colour there for you. You can't hear them. So yeah, the conspiracy theory with the idea of this 15-minute city, which has exploded since COVID, is it's meant to be better for the environment, that and more convenient for people who are now working from home or flexible working. The idea being everything is within 15 minutes, either by walking or by bike. Yeah. So everything you need, entertainment, retail, work, healthcare, leisure, all of it is within 15 minutes.
Of course, when you group any group in a small enclosed space, the smaller, the more easier it is to keep under control. The more dispersed a group is, the harder it is to keep under control. And that includes mindsets as well as physically. So the more people there are that believe the same thing, they're easier to control and herd in the same direction. What's the matter?
Oh, there, I was looking for the nearest.
Oh, there's a giant bumblebee.
Where? Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just a theory.
That's tinfoil hat territory.
That's just, that's tinfoil hat
and
territory.
it's only really because France have really embraced it. But in the UK, people took against it because of something happened in Oxford about they were giving permits to drivers to only be able to allow them to enter the city at certain points in Oxford. People ran up in arms about it, and the Tories jumped on that and kind of also started stoking the whole, you know, 15-minute city is bad. Now, I don't really know what I think about it, so I don't really have an opinion about the 15-minute city. My first instinct is it's convenient, but then I've actually come here and I freaking hate it. It is nice, and it's nice to visit. Well, it's not nice to visit, it's horrible. I hate the surveillance. I hate the I really do.
It is nice to visit in that it looks nice, it has a nice atmosphere apart from the surveillance. Yeah, I feel really torn with the, you know, I haven't really looked into this idea of the 15-minute city apart from, you know, very surface level. So I don't have a strong opinion on it. All I can say is, yeah, on the surface, I'd be like, that's convenient, cool. I'd love to be able to walk from one place to another. Do you want me to hold it?
No, I can do it.
No, you're struggling.
No, you're trying to take it off because you don't like the angle. That's why. I don't pretend it's because you're trying, because you think. Don't pretend. Don't pretend it's because you think my arm's hurting. It's because that angle
I could see you struggling and holding your arm with the other arm. I could see.
I know exactly what happened because I saw the fear in your eyes that it was an unflattering angle for you.
Anyway, yeah, but what I was going to say is, as soon as like hello, the camera's moving further and further over there. Let me hold it. Your hand's hurting.
Another way that they've tried to make Canary Wharf nice for the residents is art. Midges everywhere. Get rid of them, they should do that first. One of the ways in which they've tried to make it nice is like they have this art trail. I mean, they do stuff like at Christmas, like a light, they light it all up. Anyway, but they also have this horrible mural. Look at it. Who did that?
Looks like a lot of bums.
Does it?
Bum 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 bum.
He was just having a laugh, wasn't he? It's so ugly. Look at it. Doesn't even fit. It doesn't colour-wise or aesthetically or anything fit in with the rest of Canary Wharf. It is like vomit on a wall. And I don't dislike all murals. Like if it's a really good one by a talented artist. But then when you get the ones done by kids,
Paul,
come on, just because they're kids doesn't mean they should be allowed to kind of do murals.
Give kids a chance.
I do, a chance to grow up and become better artists. That's the chance I'm giving them. And just daub our inner cities with crap. I mean, what's that represent?
Two-headed worm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, what I don't get about this particular mural, overlooking it is like two luxury high-rise buildings. Like we looked up the prices. You know, the tiny little one-bedroom box there is like sort of £3,000 to £4,000 a month. And then they look out of their window, they go on their balcony, and they've seen that. They see this. Look. You know, a two-headed penis. But I mean, actually, now that I've said it, now I've said all that, I actually quite like this. It's grown on me now. If that was the artist's intention, was for them, these wankers to look out on their balconies and see that.
No, you like the artist.
Yeah, no, I'd have easily given him £100 for that. I mean, look, there's another one down here. There's a fat one. A fat one.
people.
So, with the focus of, or yawning, everyone's a critic. So with Canary Wharf becoming more about like housing and living space than finance. I mean, even though I think it's JP Morgan, one of them has renewed their lease till something like 2038 or something like that of their building. But if you bear in mind that the security measures were put in place supposedly to protect the banks and the like, and it's going to be more about people living here, and yet they're not going to downsize the security or the surveillance.
Have they said that?
Well, they're just not, are they? Do you think they're going to take out some of the cameras so people can live their lives without being spied upon?
Good question.
Yeah.
I don't hate it here. It's really nicely designed and it's quite pretty, but there is no way that I'd want to live somewhere like this, because I'd feel so claustrophobic.
I mean, the parks that
I just feel like I couldn't just like expand and just be myself. I'd always feel like I'd have to be like on my best behavior or something, which is like, who wants to live like that?
But the natural space that is here is, well, within Canary Wharf is unnatural. I mean,
yes.
You know, it's literally astroturf on the ground in the park.
And you're surrounded by these walls of tall buildings.
Yeah.
Which adds to that claustrophobic feeling.
And you look around here and yeah, okay, it is attractive to a point, but then there's a checkpoint there. I mean, this is the least camera laden area that we've been to so far, although I'm sure there's some over on the other side of the docks there. Don't know. And I don't know, I just can't get past the surveillance. I mean, I know it's a private estate, I know it's private property, but my God, it's everywhere. And just, it feels like a police state. When I talk about it being dystopian, you know, it is, you've got looming over everything, these massive banks, these massive
that's
institutions, just like
quite a metaphor, isn't it?
The whole place feels like a metaphor for like, we are the
standing over you.
World. Yeah, and it feels like those, it's like with those buildings and those institutions, you know, those huge banks who are, you know, if we go back to John Dee and the Rosicrucians and all that, you know, forget whether you think there's secret societies ruling the world. They aren't secret. We have these institutions ruling the world that are out in the open, and they're called HSBC and JP Stanley and what was it, Morgan Stanley, or you know, and Barclays, Citibank, and you know, they're just out in the open and they're doing it. You know, and this place that we're in now, it isn't designed for the people that are here. It's designed to keep the banks safe. You know, and if the banks do go, they're not going to get rid of the cameras. So then what is it for? What is this place, really? What is the deal with Canary Wharf? Is it just the canary in the coal mine? On the Isle of Dogs? Because what are dogs if not obedient and chained up and forced to live in kennels?
And Canary was like sent into the coal mines. Canaries were sent into coal. Well, they're seen.
I said the canary in the coal mine.
No. Wait, let me finish the sentence. Let me finish the sentence. So, are you saying like, as they sent canaries into coal mines because they would get sick first, or like canaries, like in general, if their song changes tune or something, it's like foretelling a change. So this place could be like the experiment, like it's the canary. Let's see how it goes with the canary, and then we'll know what to do with the rest of the world. Oh.
That's unbelievable that you managed to my nice distilled slogan that I thought, that's clever, I'll end the video with that, canary in the coal mine. Well, you managed to to just like stretch that out unnecessarily to about 1,000 words.
No, let's do it again. Okay,
No.
just do your ending again. Do your ending again.
We see you when you're sleeping. We control you when awake. We put implants deep inside your skin, and all our news is fake. We don't want you asking questions or sneaking round our secret base. We're global and omniscient, and we put a plan in place. You better think fast, be quick on your feet. We're coming for you, we're the global elite. We're taking control, we're the global elite. We've been having secret meetings, we've been starting proxy wars. We've been releasing deadly pathogens and been going through your drawers. We manipulate the markets, we control the weather too. Your favorite TV and pop music secretly reprograms you. You better think fast, be quick on your feet. We're coming for you, we're the global elite. We're taking control, we're the global elite. You're part of our machinery and obedient work control. We can follow you through cameras, we can track you from your goal. At Bohemian Groove you'll find us, there are complimentary beach towels. The seafood buffet is to die for, we'll drink his blood and worship ours. You better think fast, be quick on your feet. We're coming for you, we're the global elite. We're taking control, we're the global elite. We've been around for centuries,